Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads in life where your body isn't as resilient as it used to be? Have you looked around your home, now too quiet and too empty, and wondered what comes next? Society often offers a simple answer. When you can no longer care for yourself, it's time to leave everything behind and move into a nursing home. But is that really your only option? In this video, we're uncovering the truth about nursing homes, the emotional and hidden costs of leaving your home, and exploring the power of aging in place. Stay with us until the end, as the choices you make about your future deserve more than a quick fix. As you age, the thought of transitioning into a nursing home often feels inevitable. The glossy brochures and warm assurances from staff paint a picture of safety, compassion, and a dignified life, promising that all your needs will be met with professionalism. But if you take a step back and look beyond those reassuring advertisements, what does the reality really look like? The truth is, nursing homes are businesses, and like any business, they have to balance budgets, manage staffing, and maximize efficiency. Often, this means that the care, the very thing they are meant to prioritize, takes a back seat to operational demands. One of the most significant issues plaguing nursing homes is understaffing. Imagine being a caregiver responsible for 10, 15, or even 20 residents at a time, each with their own complex medical needs, emotional struggles, and daily requirements. It's not that these caregivers don't care. They are, for the most part, compassionate individuals stretched to their breaking point. However, when the workload becomes unmanageable, neglect becomes inevitable. It's not born out of malice, but out of necessity, as one person simply cannot handle such a heavy load. As a result, medications might be delayed, calls for help may go unanswered for hours, and personal care like bathing or repositioning might be rushed or even skipped. The outcome? Residents often spend long periods alone, their physical discomfort ignored, their emotional needs unmet. Picture this: lying in bed waiting for someone to help you to the bathroom or simply bring you a glass of water. How long would you wait? This isn't just an isolated scenario, it's a harsh reality for many in nursing homes. But is there another way? Could aging in place provide a better, more fulfilling option? Now that we've explored the stark truth behind nursing homes, let's dive deeper into the emotional toll of leaving the comfort of your own home and how we can challenge the status quo. Stick with us to discover alternatives that could completely change the way you experience your golden years. In the next part, we'll uncover the hidden costs of leaving your home for a nursing facility and explore the benefits of aging in place. Stay tuned. Continuing from the previous section, where we discussed the lack of care, the shift in life rhythms when moving to a nursing home, and the loneliness many face in their final years. When we realize that no one is coming, not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the time, it's a moment when our freedom gradually shrinks. Nursing homes operate on rigid schedules designed to keep the facility running smoothly. You eat when the dining hall serves breakfast at 7:30 a.m., whether you're hungry or not. You bathe when an aide has an open slot, even if you'd prefer to wait until the afternoon. You take your medication when the cart rolls by, and you go to sleep, or at least try, when the lights go out, regardless of whether you're an early riser or a night owl. The life you once lived, where you decided what to cook for dinner or leisurely sipped coffee on your porch, suddenly disappears. In its place is a regimented existence where your preferences and habits take a back seat to the institution's routine. For many, it no longer feels like care, but rather confinementa, slow erasure of the person they used to be. Then there's the loneliness, perhaps the cruelest part of it all. When you first move in, you might have visitors' family dropping by with flowers, friends promising to check in. But as time passes, those visits often dwindle. Children get caught up in their own lives' work, school runs, Bill Sand grandkids grow into teenagers with packed schedules. Old friends, if they're still around, may struggle with their own health or mobility. Soon, the bustling chatter of a life surrounded by loved ones fades into silence. Days blur together, marked only by the hum of a television in the common room or the occasional shuffle of a nurse's footsteps. Studies have shown that social isolation in nursing homes is a silent epidemic linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical decline. So before you sign that contract or pack your suitcase, pause and ask yourself, is this truly how I want to spend my final chapter? Is this the legacy of care I envision for myself or for my loved ones? If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please leave a 1 in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward to the next section. The emotional toll of leaving your home. The content has been expanded and smoothly connects between sections, keeping the flow natural and engaging for the next part. Continuing from the previous section, where we explored the emotional toll of leaving your home and the upheaval that follows such a decision, it's important to delve deeper into how this transition impacts one's sense of self. Leaving your home is not just a physical move, it's a seismic shift, an emotional and psychological upheaval that lingers long after the last box is unpacked. The act of leaving can feel like a betrayal of everything you've built. As you walk through those rooms one last time, memories come flooding back: the laughter from a holiday dinner, the quiet nights spent reading by the fireplace, and the way sunlight streamed through the window just so. Packing up isn't simply about sorting through your possessions, it's about deciding which pieces of your past you can carry forward and which you must leave behind. That worn armchair, where you rocked your babies to sleep, too big for the new place. The garden you nurtured for decades, it will belong to someone else now. Each choice chips away at your sense of control, your identity, and the very essence of who you are. Research supports what many seniors already know instinctively: leaving a familiar environment takes a heavy toll. Studies have shown that older adults who leave their homes prematurely before they are emotionally and practically ready face heightened risks of mental health challenges. Depression can settle in as they mourn the loss of independence and routine. Anxiety may spike as they grapple with an unfamiliar setting, surrounded by strangers instead of neighbors they've known for years. Even cognitive decline can accelerate. The brain, robbed of its familiar landmarks and rhythms, struggles to adapt. One study from the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors relocated to care facilities showed measurable drops in memory and problem-solving skills within months, simply because their world had been turned upside down. It's not just the loss of the house itself, it's the loss of identity tied to it. Your home is where you were, the decision maker, the host, the keeper of traditions. In a new place, especially a nursing home or assisted living facility, that role often slips away. You're no longer the one setting the table or choosing the music. You're now a resident, just another number on a chart. For many, this shift feels like the closing of a chapter they weren't ready to end, a story interrupted mid-sentence. So, if you're standing at this crossroads, take a moment to weigh not just the practicalities, but the emotional cost. Could staying home longer, with support, preserve more than just your address? Could it preserve you? Now let's move forward to explore the hidden health risks of nursing home. Show these facilities, ironically, can sometimes hasten the very decline they were meant to prevent. This version expands on the original content, adding more details, enriching the emotional tone, and setting up the transition to the next topic. The flow remains smooth and natural, while adding a reflective question for deeper engagement. Continuing from the previous section, where we discussed the emotional toll of leaving behind one's home and identity, it's crucial to now focus on how nursing homes, despite their promises of care, can sometimes lead to unintended consequences for seniors. When seniors move into nursing homes, they often leave behind daily tasks that, while sometimes burdensome, keep them physically and mentally engaged. Simple activities like cooking a meal, tidying up the house, or stepping outside to tend to a garden provide not just a sense of purpose, but also necessary exercise and mental stimulation. In a nursing home, however, these activities are typically replaced by a more sedentary lifestyle, with staff taking over responsibilities that residents once handled themselves. Studies have shown that this reduction in physical activity can lead to muscle atrophy, weakened immunity, and faster cognitive decline. For instance, a 2018 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who transitioned to institutional care experienced a marked decline in mobility and mental sharpness within just 6 months compared to those who remained at home with support. Then, there's the issue of infections, a pervasive and often under-discussed risk in nursing homes. These facilities, by their very nature, house large groups of vulnerable people in close quarters, creating ideal conditions for the spread of illness. Pneumonia, one of the leading causes of death among the elderly, thrives in such environments, particularly when residents have weakened respiratory systems or limited mobility. Urinary tract infections, UTIs, are another common scourge, often exacerbated by inadequate hydration or inconsistent personal care. In more severe cases, these infections can spiral into sepsis, a life-threatening condition where the body's response to infection triggers widespread inflammation and organ failure. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has reported that nursing home residents are at significantly higher risk for hospital-acquired infections compared to their peers living independently. Add to this the periodic outbreaks of viruses like influenza or even methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA, and it becomes clear that nursing homes can sometimes function as unintended breeding grounds for disease. Beyond the physical toll, there's a psychological dimension to consider. The transition to a nursing home often severs ties to familiar surroundings, personal belongings, and community networks, leading to feelings of isolation and depression. This emotional strain can weaken the body's resilience, making residents more susceptible to illness. For someone who is still capable of living at home, even if it requires some assistance or effort, the data suggests that staying put is often the safer, healthier option. Nursing homes may promise care, but they can inadvertently deliver decline. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please leave a 2 in the comments below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. This version expands the original content, adding more detail and fluidity while maintaining the intended message and tone. The section ends smoothly with a call to action, making it ready for the next topic. Building on the previous section where we explored the hidden risks and challenges of nursing homes, let's now shift our focus to a promising alternative that allows seniors to thrive in their own home staging in place. If nursing homes come with such risks, what's the better path forward? The answer lies in a growing movement known as aging in place, remaining in your own home as you grow older, supported by thoughtful adaptations and resources. This approach isn't about stubbornly clinging to independence without help. Instead, it's about creating a sustainable, safe, and fulfilling environment tailored to your needs. With the right planning, aging in place can preserve both your health and quality of life far more effectively than institutional care. At the heart of aging in place is making your home a safer space. Small, practical modifications can make a world of difference. For example, installing grab bars in the bathroom can significantly reduce the risk of falls, which is a leading cause of injury among seniors. Widening doorways to accommodate walkers or wheelchairs, improving lighting to prevent trips, or adding a stair lift can transform a familiar house into a fortress of accessibility. Technology plays a key role here too. Medical alert systems like wearable devices that summon help with the press of a button provide peace of mind for both seniors and their families. Smart home devices such as voice-activated assistants or motion sensor lighting can further simplify daily life, reducing strain and enhancing safety. But aging in place isn't just about physical adjustments, it's also about building a support network. Hiring part-time assistants, such as a caregiver who visits for a few hours a day or week, can handle tasks like meal preparation, medication management, or light housekeeping, all without stripping away your autonomy. For those who need more help, home health aides can provide medical support, such as wound care or physical therapy, right in the comfort of your living room. Beyond professional help, staying connected to others is critical. Friends and family can offer companionship, whether through regular visits, phone calls, or shared activities like a weekly card game. Community programs such as senior centers or volunteer organizations can also step in, providing social outlets and even practical assistance like transportation to appointments. The benefits of this approach are well documented. A 2020 report from AARP found that seniors who aged in place with adequate support reported higher levels of satisfaction, lower rates of depression, and better overall health outcomes compared to those in nursing homes. Financially, it can also be more affordable. Retroactively fitting a home with necessary modifications and hiring part-time help often costs less than the average $4,000 to $8,000 monthly price tag of a care facility. However, aging in place isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires planning. As we continue, let's explore the key factors to consider when planning for aging in place and how to ensure this approach is sustainable and beneficial in the long run. This version adds depth, elaborating on the aspects of aging in place, and transitions smoothly to the next section. The language is natural, engaging, and informative, setting the stage for further exploration of the topic. Building on the previous section, where we discuss the importance of aging in place, let's now focus on the undeniable power of staying in control of your life every single day, even as you grow older. Every single day we open our eyes is a precious gift, a chance to live, to love, and to shape our destinies. As we age, this gift doesn't diminish, it evolves. Growing older should never mean relinquishing the fundamental right to wake up each morning feeling safe, cherished, and firmly in command of your existence. Too often, society paints aging as a slow descent into dependency, a narrative that strips away dignity and agency. But aging is not synonymous with surrender. Rather, it is an opportunity to redefine what independence looks like for you. Before you even consider moving into a nursing home, pause and reflect on the full spectrum of possibilities available to you. Building a robust support system is key. This could mean leaning on family, close friends, or even a tight-knit community of neighbors who check in regularly. Think about practical modifications to your home, installing grab bars in the bathroom, adding a stair lift, or rearranging furniture to reduce hazards. These small changes can extend your ability to live comfortably and safely in your own space for years. Home care services are another powerful option. Whether it's a nurse visiting a few times a week or a caregiver assisting with daily tasks like cooking or bathing, these services can be tailored to your exact needs without uprooting your life. The most critical piece of advice here is this: never under any circumstances rush into a decision that strips away your freedom. A hasty choice perhaps made in the wake of a health scare or under pressure from well-meaning but uninformed loved ones can lock you into a situation that feels more like a cage than a home. Take the time to weigh your options, consult with experts, and listen to your instincts. Your independence is a treasure worth fighting for, and with the right planning, you can maintain it far longer than you might think. Aging doesn't have to mean losing control. It can mean mastering it in a new way. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment 3 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now let's move forward to the next topic: the financial burden of nursing homes and the hidden costs that often come as a shocking reality. This version expands on the original content, providing a smoother flow while adding emotional depth and detail. It maintains the natural narrative style and ends with a call to action to encourage engagement. Building on our previous discussion about maintaining control over your life as you age, it's time to address one of the most pressing concerns: the crushing economic burden that nursing homes impose, not just on individuals, but on entire families. Let's break it down with some hard numbers. Depending on where you live, the cost of a nursing home can range from $4,000 to a jaw-dropping $12,000 per month for basic care alone. That translates to between $48,000 and $144,000 a year. And that's before factoring in extras like medication management, physical therapy, or specialized treatment for conditions such as dementia or Parkinson's, which can easily push the monthly bill into the tens of thousands. Now, let's put this into a long-term perspective. Imagine you or a loved one spends 5 to 10 years in a nursing home, a realistic time frame, especially as people grow older. At the low end, you're looking at a bill of $240,000 to $480,000. At the high end, you could be staring down a tab ranging from $600,000 to over $1 million. And for what? What do you get for this astronomical sum? Often, it's a cramped room with thin walls, a shared bathroom down a sterile hallway, and a rotating cast of overworked staff who may not have the time or resources to offer the personalized attention you truly deserve. It's a sobering, though hundreds of thousands of dollars spent, not on luxury or even true peace of mind, but for a bare minimum existence. Here's the kicker. Many people assume their lifelong contributions to retirement funds, pensions, or government programs like Medicare or Medicaid will cover these costs. The truth is far less reassuring. In the United States, for example, Medicare only covers short-term stays, typically up to 100 days after a qualifying hospital event, and even then, it's not free. Medicaid might step in for those with limited assets, but qualifying often requires spending down your savings, selling your home, or liquidating investments. Essentially, you're forced into poverty just to access help. Private insurance is another gamble policies vary widely, and many don't cover long-term care comprehensively. As a result, countless families find themselves draining bank accounts, selling cherished properties, or taking on crippling debt just to keep up with the bills. Now let's contrast that with alternatives. What if, instead of pouring your life savings into a facility, you invested a fraction of that money into making your home safer? Perhaps $5,000 for renovations like a walk-in shower or a ramp. What if you hired a part-time caregiver for $20 an hour, a few hours a week, totaling just $5,000 to $10,000 a year? Or consider a more personal option, moving in with a family member who genuinely cares about your well-being, splitting costs, or sharing responsibilities in a way that preserves both your dignity and finances. These alternatives aren't just cheaper, they're richer in the things that truly matter: familiarity, autonomy, and connection. The harsh reality is that most people don't end up in nursing homes because they've run out of viable options. They end up there because they've never been shown the alternatives, often due to misinformation. As we move forward, let's explore how proper planning and knowledge of your options can empower you to make the right decisions for your future. This version expands on the original content, providing a more vivid, detailed explanation, and ends with a seamless transition to the next topic. It also includes engaging language to keep the reader interested and reflect on the importance of being informed. as we continue from the previous section where we explored the financial burden of nursing homes and the hidden costs they impose. Let's now delve into the psychological impact of such a major life transition. The lack of planning or the cultural assumption that nursing homes are the default solution can trap people into a financially ruinous decision. Knowledge is power here. Research local resources, consult financial advisors, and explore home care grants or community programs. The money you save could be the difference between a life of constraint and a life of choice. Nursing homes might seem like a safety net, but for many, they're a hidden sinkhole financially, emotionally, and spiritually. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward to explore the psychological impact of transitioning into a nursing home. The transition into a nursing home often marks more than just an address change. For many, it signals the unraveling of something deeply human, a sense of purpose and identity. There is a well-documented phenomenon supported by both observation and research where many seniors experience a rapid decline after entering such facilities. And it's not solely a matter of physical frailty, it's about the erosion of meaning in their lives. Consider what it means to live in your own home, even in your later years. You wake up each morning with the quiet rhythm of responsibilities that, while perhaps small, are profoundly yours. You decide what to eat. Maybe it's a simple bowl of oatmeal with a sprinkle of cinnamon or a cup of tea brewed just the way you like it. You tend to your plants, watching their leaves unfurl with a sense of pride, or you feed your pet, feeling the warmth of its companionship. Perhaps you pick up a hobby knitting a scarf, flipping through an old photo album, or tinkering with something in the garage. These aren't just tasks, they're threads in the fabric of your day, keeping your mind sharp, your heart engaged, and your spirit vibrant. Now, imagine that autonomy stripped away in a nursing home. Those small but vital choices often vanish, replaced by a regimented existence that can feel more like a conveyor belt than a life. Meals arrive on trays at predetermined times, someone else's menu, someone else's schedule. You don't stir the soup or season it to taste. It's simply placed before you, uniform and impersonal. Activities, if they exist, are pre-planned. Bingo at 2 p.m., a sing-along at 4 p.m., leaving little room for spontaneity or personal passion. Your space, once a reflection of your personality with its familiar creaks and cherished clutter, becomes a sterile room governed by someone else's rules. Lights out at 9 p.m., no candles allowed, walls bare except for what's permitted. The loss of control, the small everyday choices that once gave you a sense of autonomy can be profoundly damaging. The absence of these decisions doesn't just change your environment, it changes you. The personal and emotional cost of losing this agency is real, and the psychological toll is far greater than many anticipate. Now, let's dive deeper into the emotional and physical consequences of this loss of autonomy and how it can shape a person's quality of life. This version expands on the original content, adding more emotional depth while maintaining the original meaning. It transitions smoothly into the next section and includes thought-provoking language to engage viewers and invite them to reflect on the impact of nursing homes. Continuing from the previous section where we discussed the profound psychological effects of moving into a nursing home, let's now focus on the importance of retaining your identity and control as you age. When you transition into a nursing home, a creeping sense of irrelevance can seep into every corner of your existence. For many residents, the most devastating blow isn't the physical confinement, but the psychological one. The feeling that they've become a burden, a name on a chart, someone merely waiting for time to tick by rather than actively living it. Now, contrast that with the choice to remain in your own home. It's not just about staying surrounded by familiar walls or sleeping in your own bed, though those comforts matter immensely. It's about holding on to something far more precious, your identity. Even if age slows your steps or dims your eyesight, even if you need a caregiver to assist with the heavier tasks, you remain the author of your story. You decide when to turn on the radio, what flowers to plant in the garden, or whether to spend an afternoon lost in a book. These decisions, however modest they may seem, are powerful assertions of self-declarations that you are still here, still you. And as long as you cling to that agency, the specter of feeling old loses its power. Aging, in this light, isn't a descent into helplessness. It's a testament to resilience. It's a chance to redefine what matters most. A new chapter knot, an epilogue. Aging is not the end of choice. It's the opening of a new chapter where the decisions you make carry a weight and significance they never had before. Each choice becomes a quiet rebellion against the narrative that growing older means surrendering control. Yet society often pushes a different story, one that whispers, or sometimes shouts, that once you cross an arbitrary threshold of years, independence must be traded for safety, individuality for convenience. You're told that a nursing home is the responsible option, the place where you'll be cared for, where risks are minimized. But at what cost? The familiar hum of your own home, the freedom to structure your days, the dignity of living on your terms, these are not trivial losses. They are the essence of what it means to be human. The truth is, you have a choice, and it's one worth defending. You don't have to rush into a nursing home simply because it's the path others expect you to take. You don't have to exchange the comfort of the known for the confinement of the prescribed. You deserve more than mere survival. You deserve to thrive. Yes, aging brings its trials. There will be mornings when your joints ache, afternoons when fatigue settles in, moments when tasks that once felt effortless now require a helping hand. But needing assistance doesn't mean relinquishing your voice. It doesn't mean handing over your future to a system that, despite its good intentions, may prioritize efficiency over empathy, protocol over personhood. A caregiver can lift the groceries, a nurse can check your vitals, but only you can decide what makes your life worth living. This is the heart of it. Staying in your own home isn't just about physical space. It's about maintaining your dignity, your independence, and your sense of self. Now, let's move forward and explore the practical steps you can take to stay in control of your aging process, ensuring you continue to live the life you deserve. This version expands on the original content, adding emotional depth and encouraging reflection while maintaining the core message. The section transitions smoothly into the next topic, inviting the viewer to consider the steps they can take to retain their autonomy as they age. Continuing from the previous section, where we explored the power of staying in control of your life as you age, let's now focus on something even more essential, preserving the core of who you are. Aging isn't just about physical space. It's about preserving the psychological and emotional core of who you are. It's about choosing a life that reflects your values, your history, and your spirit. The stakes of that choice grow higher with each passing year, not lower. Aging doesn't diminish your right to self-determination. It amplifies its importance. So, when the world tries to convince you that your story is winding down, that it's time to step aside and let others take the reins push back. This chapter is yours to write, and it can be as rich, as bold, and as meaningful as any that came before. As we wrap up, I want you to take a moment and reflect. What have you learned so far about aging, independence, and the choices ahead? Maybe it's the hidden realities of nursing homes, the emotional weight of leaving your home, or the power of aging in place with the right support. I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below with one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into practice in your own life. Your story could inspire someone else who's facing the same decisions. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights on living your best life, no matter your age. Your future is still yours to shape, and together, we can keep the conversation going. This version expands on the original content, adding depth to the message while maintaining the core themes. It also ends with a clear call to action, encouraging engagement and reflection,